We are on the way to the yard to do Qantas's evening kind of routine. He is on box rest, so we went to get him out of the field the other day and he was absolutely hopping lame at walk. We assumed it was a foot abscess because he was like pointing his toe and it was like such an extreme lameness and there was no swelling or pain or tenderness or kind of heat anywhere else. So we put him in the stable, put a poultice on. There wasn't any heat or any pulses, but with the absence of any other signs of anything, we assumed that's what it must be. Put a poultice on, nothing kind of came of it, and he got slightly less lame, and then it became much more evident that there was something else going on, because he was kind of using his leg a little bit strangely, and there were like he couldn't pick his foot up to have the hoof picked out and things like that. So I took him to the vet. They started off with a nerve block in the foot because, you know, over 60% of front leg lamenesses are in the foot. Nerve blocked it, nothing in there. They were like, right, we'll do like the knee and the suspensories next. Nerve blocked that, nothing. And they just like kept moving up his leg until they x-rayed and ultrasounded his shoulder, and it turns out he's pulled a bicep muscle, which is quite impressive for a horse. It's not something you hear of all that often. So Qantas, always throwing a curveball, Qantas, is now on box rest for 6 weeks. They actually wanted him to be out and moving if he would, just because he's so stressy in the stable. So if he doesn't settle in the stable, they actually said that he'll be better out and just grazing if he doesn't be silly and like run around and stuff whilst he's out. So we're just gonna see how he goes. I can literally see him weaving and coming in and out of the door as we speak. I'm hoping he can stay stabled and stay sane for at least a week and then go out in a small paddock after that, just to kind of help everything out. But what we're going to do today is kind of take you through Qantas's box rest routine. Not the video I wanted to be making, but needs must. Take you through your grass. Okay. Calm down. You're all right. Hey. See what I mean? There's no rest going on here. So first things first, let's take this little stress ball for some grazing. I actually need to take his hospital tag out. He's still got his name tag in his mane. Hey, you're all right. You're all right. 15 minutes hand graze and he gets that twice a day. All right, steady. Steady, wait. Nicely. Finds like his favourite space. Qantas to give you a no shot. Time is up, Qantas. Let's go. Come on. Gonna take him up to the barn now. Come on. He always does this. He hates going back. I know, sweetheart. Walk on. Good boy. I'm going to take him to the barn to eat his tea, which give me an opportunity to give his stable a good muck out without him in the way. In the morning when I come, I do this straight away and then I muck out around him in the stable. But I like to give it a really good sweep and muck out in the evening. You can have some food while I do that, huh? Good boy. Come on. Come on.
He's such a naughty.
Good boy. So he's on the same type of feed that he was on before anyway. He's a pretty good deer, so he's only on fibre beat and performance balancer, and then he would be topped up with the Ease and Excel cubes when we were training before we went out on a training ride. So now he's on more fibre beat, slightly less performance balancer, but I'm trying to keep his fibre high to keep the guts going, and because he's so stressy, to try and keep those acids in his stomach as low as possible, but with kind of fewer calories, but still giving him the nutrition he needs to heal. If fine balance, I'm sure he'll be a little bit fat by the end of this, but what can we do? As long as he's nutritionally okay, that's all that matters. Being a little bit fat is alright, isn't it? Okay, mucking out time. It's also new bedding day. We've got a couple of bags of the blue ribbon horse bedding to put in. Woo! Okay, let's get started. First things first is sweep up this front bit, because Qantas paces so much. He kind of makes it into a nice muddy, wet, pooey, dusty area. So we clean this bit up first. Getting a little bit warm doing this. This is why I love this bedding so much, is that it's really easy to get the poo out and not waste lots of bedding. And there's actually no wee in the bedding today because he's weed out on the mats. Strange pony. But normally if there is wee in it, kind of all clumps together and it's really easy to take out, which I like. It turns a different colour so it's easy to see as well. So because it's new bedding day, what I like to do is take the old bedding away from the sides and put the new bedding along the sides. That means that I'm always rotating, so the old bedding comes in to be the poopy wee bedding and the new bedding gets to kind of be new for a bit longer around the side. So we'll do that. Gives us a chance to get the little pooplets out. Put one nice and flat. My top tip with this bedding is actually to lay it instruction side down, because the other side, the pony head side, has little perforations, and if you put the water in this side then it will come out the bottom. So I like to do it the other way. However, these got damaged in transport, so they've already got holes on the instruction side, so I'm going to do it this way. But normally I would do it pony head up, and then the water stays inside the bag much better. there's actually a poop in there. That's disgusting. If he hadn't pooped in this water, the other thing I do is I use his kind of day-old water to put in the bedding to kind of save water, and then he can get some fresh water to drink. But he's pooed in there, so we're going to go get some fresh water for the bedding now. Fill the water up for him because he won't drink from the automatic water feeders. The noise scares him. Oh, Qantas. Time to tip the bedding out. Now the slightly wetter stuff is on top. Can soak down through to the drier stuff that I tip. Time to floof. Very handy wheelbarrows, my bucket holder, my little recycling tray. Hey Qantas. Right. That's the muck heap in a sec, but first, haylage! So I wouldn't normally get these small bags of haylage. Pretty wasteful in terms of the cost for the amount of haylage you get compared to the big bales, and the amount of plastic for what you get. But he won't eat a massive bale to himself with in time for it not to go mouldy, so little bales is what we have to do.
Plus, they don't usually in the stable, are they?
No, they're normally out 24/7 in the summer, so we don't normally need haylage. We usually have a couple of little bags on hand for when we go in the trailer or they're in for the farrier or something, but it's not something I'd use regularly. It's not cost effective. I'm just doing a second net for the morning, so there's minimal things I have to do before work. In terms of his prognosis now, because it's not really that common, the vets aren't particularly sure what to say, really. Apart from kind of let's wait and see, rescan it in 6 weeks' time and go from there. And I guess it'll just depend on the quality of the tendon muscle healing, and whether it regains full function or will be an issue in the future. So it's kind of a just wait and see. Eat it. You can't eat it. It's the arnica gel. Okay, so twice a day I just rub the arnica gel into the muscle around where he's pulled it, and then I do some passive stretches. The only annoying thing about this gel is, one, I know there are varying degrees of kind of efficacy of arnica. And also what really annoys me is things like this. All of the brands that have arnica in some sort of gel like this, they don't actually state the percentage of arnica in it, which annoys me a little bit. joints. Also keeps the fluid moving in the joints. I know, good boy. On the way. I know, good boy. And we're not going to the extreme of range because we don't want to hurt his little leg. Good boy. Can't eat this either. You just want to eat everything. Also, really, really important, especially as he's being permanently stabled, is to keep his hooves in tip-top condition. Top notch. You always want to put your nose in everything. I use the Kevin Bacon dressing. His feet aren't looking that good at the moment because he was at the equine hospital. He actually missed when the farrier was here. So the farrier is coming especially to take his shoes off and do his feet next week. So he is actually 5 days overdue now. Hello. Oh, that was a lot. Last but not least, and actually because it's the weekend I've already done it this morning, but in the weekdays I do just the minimum in the morning and then the extra kind of bits in the evening when I'm after work, so I've got more time, is I put the Equilibrium massage pad on his back. You'll have seen me use it before, and also an electrical muscle stimulation machine just to try and keep the muscles over his back and glutes working. And in a few weeks' time, when we're out of the acute phase, we'll also use that on his leg just to kind of reactivate everything. Okay? Oh, you're so funny. Come here. What are you doing? What are you doing? There you go. There's your vet tag. Okay? There's your vet tag. So everyone, please keep your fingers crossed for Qantas to have a speedy and really good recovery. I just want him to be okay now. He doesn't particularly like being cooped up, do you? Who does? So fingers crossed he comes back okay. We'll miss this season now, and that's completely fine. He's at least we got out to one outing and he was really good. So we just need to kind of build on that over winter. Get you out and about, a little bit more chilled. Maybe next season will be our season. Okay? What do you think? Maybe? Maybe. You're funny.